Thank you so much for that. And now our grand finale, our Latinas Think Big showcase. The showcase will introduce 6 Latina innovators in STEM who will each deliver a 12-minute lightning talk. It means it's fast, even though it's 12 minutes. That showcases their innovative projects. So let's get right to the talks. Our first presenter is Lisa Morales-Hellebo. Lisa is a serial entrepreneur, seasoned product strategist, and creative director with a career that spans 20 years helping companies, from startups to F500 such as Coca-Cola, PSE&G, Hasbro, and Nexus, maximize conversions via multi-channel e-commerce product strategy, development, and brand extension. She is currently the executive director and co-founder of the New York Fashion Tech Lab, which she launched with Springboard Enterprises and the Partnership Fund for New York City. Her previous fashion startup, Shopsy, leveraged patent-pending smart data remix technology to allow women to shop online the way they shop offline, browsing and mixing items in context to produce inspiring combinations. Born in the Bronx, New York City, woo! Lisa received her BFA with university honors in graphic design from Carnegie Mellon University. Please welcome Lisa Morales-Hellebo. Lisa?
I've got water too. Oh, where do I go? I'm mic'd. Is this on? Yes. Hello? All right, I'm not gonna stand still because I'm Latina. I'll knock down water. I tend to do that. Oh, and wind machines. Look at that. Although it's cold, so I might want them off. So hi, I'm Lisa Morales-Hellebo. Can you all hear me okay? Yes? All right, fantastic. Okay, yeah. I'm a little chilly. Thanks. So I'm here today to share with you personal stories that led to major epiphanies throughout my life. They've shaped who I am and who I've yet to become. And the underlying theme of all of these stories really is fear, and how throughout my life I've chosen to embrace fear, to let it be my motivation. And I'm going to share with you how I did that. So I'm a Puerto Rican from the Bronx, and my parents moved us out of the Bronx when I was about 3, up to Westchester County, New York. I don't know how many of y'all know about Westchester, but it's very white. And so when we moved up to Westchester, my parents were giving us a better chance at a better life, better opportunities, better schools. And unfortunately, we moved in 2 doors down from a racist, and my daily life changed dramatically. I dealt with having severed deer heads put in our driveway. I would have spick written in the snow in front of our house. I had my cats shot at with a BB gun. This was a daily thing for us. And I think worst of all is that their children had to leave our neighbor's house if I showed up. And if they said hello to me, I'd hear them being beaten 2 doors down. So I was living in a constant state of fear. And for a child, that's a very sort of formative thing to have to deal with. So I'd go to school, and on the bus, I'd have children spit on me, ask me why my skin was dirty, why are you so brown, or worse. And I'd come home, and I'd tell my mom, crying, bawling my eyes out, what had happened. And my mom said, "You deserve to be in any room and have your voice heard. All you have to do is prove your worth." And so those words, I've realized after 40 years on this planet, have really propelled me through every major choice in my life. So fast forward to Carnegie Mellon. I applied to school, and Carnegie Mellon was my only choice. I told my parents, that's where I'm going. I don't need to apply anywhere else. And they were like, well, maybe you should. But I got in on scholarships and grants, type A, overachiever, proving my worth. And I wanted to be in graphic design. So graphic design is an amazing field. And after graduating with university honors, I said, I'm off to Vogue. Of course, that's where I wanted to work. While I was interviewing at Vogue, I got a call from Herman Miller out in Michigan. Do you all know what that is? Furniture company. Kind of a big deal in design. Since that was my degree, I said, hey, I'll go. It was a one-year position. They had over 4,000 students every year apply for this position, and they chose 2 students. And looking back, I think that's why I went, because I wanted to prove that I could get it, and I did. So it's about making those hard choices, and at that pivotal point in my early life and career, I chose the less obvious path, the harder path, and it's consistently paid dividends for me. Fast forward to going to Norway. I was working out in the valley and happened to meet a Norwegian surfer, tall, blonde hair, green-eyed man, and he changed the course of my life. They tend to do that when they're the one. So working out in the valley, dream job. I was there during the first dot-com bubble and was enjoying the heyday. It was a lot of fun. But this amazing man came into my life. And all my friends said, what are you doing? He asked you to quit your job and move to Norway? Are you insane? Where's the ring? And I said, well, why not? What's the worst that could happen? I get to live in Norway. I get to learn another culture, another language. Why wouldn't I go? But they said, you know, you have this dream job. I was working at a world-renowned mass customization and micromanufacturing startup owned by P&G and Red Point Ventures. It was amazing. But I said, you know, I can get another great job. I can make another great job. I think this is the guy. I'm going. And I leapt. And we're married, have beautiful children. And thank you. The next major epiphany came when I came back to the States after I had my first son. I started a design firm. And that came about because I was working at a nationwide retail chain, and the CEO came to me when I was like 7 months pregnant. And he said, you know, Lisa, we know we need you more than you need us. So I assume you're starting an agency or something when you go out of maternity leave. Would you like your first client? And so I said, give me a second. I'm making a human being. So might need a couple months, but sure enough, 4.5 months later, I started Good Egg Design. And again, the fear was creeping in. All of you that have children know that it is so wrought with fear when you have your first child. Everything is terrifying. So for me, I was thinking, what's the minimum I have to make to still like take care of my family and have a house, maybe what, $30,000, $40,000? Again, majorly underselling my capabilities. So we bought a conservative house and we had my child, and the first year in business, I worked maybe 6 months, and people were coming to me. I made 100K. And I said, wow, hey, I can do this. It's really a defining moment to realize that you have the power to control your own destiny. And that was that for me. The next moment was when I went with one of my clients, who became one of my closest girlfriends, Carmen Ortiz-McGee. She is the president of an organization that represented the top 1% of minority wealth in the country. So she invites me to their annual conference, and at this conference, I was the first time in a room full of people that looked like me, that were millionaires and billionaires. And it changed my perspective on everything. I said, if they can do it, why not me? I had never even had that cross my mind before that moment, which was shocking. And so I started sharing ideas with these people, these brilliant millionaires, and they said my ideas had validity. So then I pursued developing a contextual search engine, which is known as Shopsy, and asked my husband, do you mind if I don't make, I was the primary breadwinner, all the money to support us for an indefinite period of time, make $0, and pursue this startup thing? And he said, go for it. And so I figured, I've got to make this work. And I didn't. And it sucked. But it's a learning experience. And again, I jumped at the thing that was scary. And I tackled it and I learned a ton, amazing opportunities to really learn about business and how to scale a product, and bigger issues within the industry. So one of my biggest learnings from Shopsy was that the ecosystem for fashion tech was really a little broken. And I wanted to fix that because I'm an entrepreneur. So I went to my network of Springboard Enterprises. Amy Millman, I was having dinner with her in New York City last summer, and she said, "What do you want to do next?" I said, "Well, I'm enjoying mentoring these fashion tech startups. I would love to build a space where we could really have the big brands and retailers connect with the startups that are looking to serve them." And she immediately said, "Well, let's do that." That's the power of having networks and bringing yourself up to surround yourself with the people that are really impactful in the industry. The people you surround yourself with matter. They hold you accountable to what you're capable of. So my expectations for myself suddenly were massive. And I said, okay, what next? She asked me to pull together a proposal, send it to her. She'd forward it to Kay Koplowitz, who happens to be the woman that founded USA Networks, kind of a big deal. She said, if Kay signs on board, she'll get the brands on board. And if she signs on, we'll do this. So sure enough, Kay calls me in for a meeting. And next thing I know, she said, well, I'll get the brands. If you want to head it up, let's do this. And just like that, another big epiphany was you get 0% of what you don't ask for. I literally put it out in the universe. I don't know, this is what I want to do next. And these amazing people I surrounded myself with said, let's do this. But if you don't ask for it, you don't get it. It's really not that complicated. It's that simple. And so we're off to the races. And this year, I launched the New York Fashion Tech Lab, which is really a culmination of everything I've done throughout my career. I built a space where the big brands and retailers, Macy's, J.Crew, Ralph Lauren, et cetera, are connecting with the startups that are looking to serve them. And this was really a paradigm shift for accelerators because they were chosen by the big brands and retailers. And they were mentored by the C-level executives within these big retailers. They were validating that your technology is important to this industry, as opposed to an investor saying, we think this will make us a good amount of money in a year or two flip. So we're looking for game changers to move the industry forward. That's the latest sprint that I've been through in my lifelong, lifelong journey as an entrepreneur. It took me a while to figure out that I was one. Sometimes that happens, but it really was a life-changing experience once I was in the community. Because this community, if you pay it forward, it gives back in spades. But you have to be involved, you have to be visible, you have to ask for what you want, and you have to really commit yourself to whatever you're doing with passion. The community will support you. So I ask you today to really think about embracing the thing that you find most scary in your life. Embrace the fear and see what happens if you push past it. Because I guarantee you it's going to be amazing things. And again, somebody earlier today said, you don't regret the things that you did in your life, you regret the things you didn't do. So take a leap.